Okay, let's start again. Hi guys! So I'm really excited about the book for this week because it is for Fantasy Friday and it is one of my absolute favorite books of all times, and it is called The Final Empire, the first book in the Mistborn series by Sanderson. Love this book. So I've recently reread it, which is why I'm doing a review about it. And again, it's one of the books I can reread again, which I love because it means it was so good. And it's just every time I read it, it's always as good as I thought it was. Like, it's always as good as I remember it, and I just find that so rare. It's set in a world where trees aren't green. There's lost smoke and ash everywhere. The sun is red. Blue skies are not a thing, and there are like no flowers. There's this kind of the three classes, which are Scar, nobility, and then you got the Lord Ruler at the top. And the Lord Ruler is kind of like God or a king. I'm not really sure how, like, what best fits. He's kind of like a bit of both. But he kind of rules over everything and he can kill anybody, so there's that. The nobility is exactly what it sounds like. It's the noblemen. It's people of higher class who've got more money, who, you know, can run plantations, and they have their own kind of like business of selling guns or weapons or whatever, merchants. And then there are the Scar, who are the lowest of the low, and they are essentially the slaves. And they are, you know, the people on the streets they're always looked down upon, and there's, amongst the nobility, they're taught by the Lord Ruler there is something genetically different between the nobility and Scar, such in a way that, you know, it's not just their living situation, but also something more such as, like, they're not as intelligent, or yeah, they're not as intelligent, they're not as able, so they are forced to do this menial task. So Vin is the Scar Thieving Crew, is part of the Scar Thieving Crew, and she's an author. She cuts her own story, etc., and it kind of follows her and joining up with Kelsier and his thieving crew. So Kelsier is like almost like a legend in this book because he's become the survivor of Sin, and it's because when you do something really bad, the Lord Ruler sends you to the pits, or the pits of Sin, and essentially it's really brutal. You know, you die from the beatings and stuff before anything else, before starvation or anything else. It's a really harsh environment to live in, and Kelsier is the only one to have survived the pits in such that he's actually escaped from the pits, so that's never heard of before. And the other thing is, he is what's called a Mistborn. So in this series, there is something called Allomancy, which is certain individuals have the power to, when they ingest certain metals, they have certain abilities, essentially. Like pewter, if you're a pewter mystic, which is what they're called, you can use the abilities of pewter, basically. You have to ingest some pewter, like in shavings or whatever, and you can kind of sense this like storage of pewter, and what you do is you burn it, or you like activate it, so that it gives you more strength, helps with balance as well, like quicker reflexes, quicker your feet, that's that sort of thing. If you burn iron, you see like blue lines, from you to other sources of metal, which is quite helpful because you can like push and pull off metals. Like you could do that if it's metal on the ground, because what they'll do is like they'll coin push, so they have like gold coins and they drop them and they push on it to propel themselves up and jump, and that's kind of how they travel as well. That's how they can travel. So iron is very helpful for them to find the metal sources so that they can push off them and find a path. So it's very rare that you're going to have this ability at all for any one metal. It's even rarer, almost unheard of, to be what's called a Mistborn, which means you can use all of the metals. And so Kelsier is this. He is a Mistborn, and so is Vin. And the story follows them and It follows their elaborate scheme of trying to overthrow the Lord Ruler. It's essentially a rebellion. They're helping the Sky Rebellion and they're trying to overthrow the Lord Ruler because you know what? This isn't working. So it follows them doing this elaborate scheme and you just really fall in love with the characters. It's not just Min she's not innocent, but because she grew up on the street, she's not very trusting either. Trust is a very new concept for her, so, you know, and there's actually a line Cassie says to her, it's like, there is so much you don't know about friendship and I hope that one day you will know it, or that one day you'll learn it. And that's kind of really telling because she doesn't really fully understand the concept of what true friendship is and that selfless act of, yeah, you know I can't win, I can't help them because I'll just lose, but I have to try because that's what friendship is about, that's what love is. That's the kind of trust that we have in this group, in this crew. And so she's kind of learning all that as well, and you know, she falls in love and she really like comes into her own abilities and she figures out who she is. So it's not just Vinny you fall in love with like Kelsey. Kelsey is one of my favourite characters. I love him so much. He is just so charismatic and really caring and just there's something really wholesome about him somehow. There's just something really good and yeah, he's just had like good intentions and I don't know, I just really love reading about him. There's also Breeze, who's also like almost like a fake nobleman, and you know the rest of the crew makes fun of him, his accent and sort of thing, and it's just the chemistry between this group of characters that can't get over. It's just so nice to read, and this is such an adventure-filled book, and it's about, you know, 1,000 pages or more, and it's just so well written, you don't want to put it down. And I cannot recommend this book enough. I honestly cannot. If you like science fiction, fantasy, if you just want to try something different, just give this book a shot. Like, I can almost promise you that you will not regret it. It's just so well written. The characters, I feel like they're impossible not to like. At least not to like one of them, because they're so different, and yet they're like a family, and that's just so nice to read about. And, you know, they go through their little adventure, and you know it's pretty realistic in terms of rebellion. You know, people die. It's really gruesome in some areas where people die because they're essentially being murdered by the Lord Ruler. One of the most interesting things about this book is that it's set in a time where there's so much, I guess, pollution or whatever that the earth is super dead, you know? Like, how trippy is it that the sun is red? Like, that's kind of not normal. But for them, in this book, it's not normal for them to be yellow, for it to be yellow. Yeah, so this is in my absolutely amazing pile, and I love this so much. So please do yourself a favor, give this book a shot. It's completely worth it. And I will see you guys next time.